Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame. I hope that y'all have been having a wonderful week and that you have a productive weekend. Alright, so I wanted to come on here briefly and discuss something and ask your opinion and input on some ways that I can approach situations like this. So, what I'm talking about is death as it relates to people who have lost someone who is very, very close to them, the closest person to them that is a loved one, whether it's their mother, their father, grandparent, you know. As of late, I've had several friends and a few coworkers who have all lost their mother, and this has been within a month's time, and the month is not even over yet. So it's like, I don't know. For me, I'm usually really happy, and people love for me to be around them, especially if they bring something. I'm the type of person that if you bring something to me and you want my input on it, if it's something that I can relate to or if it's something that I'm familiar with, I have no problem with talking to you about it. And I will talk your ear off. Like that's how a lot of people get me to talk, because a lot of times I'll just stay to myself unless somebody brings something to me. So yeah, y'all. As far as this is concerned, one of my friends at my old job, she lost her mother. Her mother was in her 80s, but at the same time, she took it really hard because, of course, that's her mother. And in a sense, she'd been taking care of her. And also, one of my current coworkers lost her mother. And it's crazy because I came home today. It was gonna rain. It was raining really bad. By the time I got home, it rained, and then there was a break in it. And so I, got out of the car and went in the house, and it continued to rain. So when it stopped and the sun came out, I was like, let me just go run this errand. Went and ran the errand that I was gonna run when I got off work today, and one of my other coworkers rolled up on me. And so we got to talking, and I asked her how was the person doing who had lost her mother, and had I missed her being at work, because I know how I get. Like, if I'm in my feelings and something deep like that has happened to me and I'm at work, sometime after it's happened, I'll be distant. I'll go off by myself. People sometimes don't even realize that I've even been at work, because when I go on my break, I'll just go to my car, or I will go in the bathroom and just be there and just do whatever I feel like I need to do to just be by myself and with my thoughts. So she let me know that she hadn't been at work, and she was actually trying to convince her to stay out at least until after this next upcoming holiday, which is, I would think, Memorial Day. And she'd already told our supervisor that she's going to come back, this week that's coming up. And so she says that she doesn't feel as though she is ready to come back. And, she's grown up, kind of with her. And she used to be at her mother's house 7 days a week. Like, before she got married, she used to be at this person's mother's house 7 days a week. And, she considered her mother to be her mother as well. And I think she was actually her godmother. So when the news broke, it was just really, really tragic. Both of them had worked that day, and like 3 hours later, somebody called her while she was like in the middle of getting her hair done or something like that, and told her that she needed to get to the house because they don't think she's gonna make it. And she literally came in the house after she had sped to get there. She was calling her mama's name, and her mama looked up, shook her head, and passed away. Y'all, I can't. And apparently she had been taking care of her for 12 years. And, I understand that things happen and God has a purpose and He doesn't make mistakes. And we live, but we are eventually going to pass away. I'm very fully aware of that. What I wanted to ask y'all about was, what are some of the things that you say to people that are going through that and they're taking it extremely hard? Which I understand, especially if they were very, very close to that particular person. that they would take it hard like that. So what are some of the things that you say that you feel kind of gives them somewhat comfort, or can kind of help them through it? And I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be Bible verses or songs or anything like that. Anything that y'all tell me, it is very much so welcome. As long as it's not something idiotic like just get over it or something like that. I'm talking about something encouraging, something that really would help a person in a time like that. So I'm going to tell y'all about one other situation, and then I'm going to let y'all go. So I have a friend. I've been friends with her since 2012, and she worked at my last job. So we talk like every single day, and when we don't, it's just because she works really long hours now, and she's usually trying to catch up on sleep. And I'll text her, and she won't text back, but I'll know that that's why. Anyway, a year or two, I think, not long before I started working there, her mother passed away. I think her mother passed away like a year and a half, almost 2 years before she started working there. And then I came there. I actually moved here like a little while after that. So long story short, her mother passed away like not long after she graduated high school, and she had breast cancer. And she already has a raggedy father who does nothing. And he even went so far as to say, oh, well, I know we haven't had the greatest relationship, but I promise after all this stuff that has happened with your mom, I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to be there. I'm going to do this. And he's done nothing. So anyway, y'all, she and I became pretty good friends. And when she became cool enough with me, because we kind of just started off just talking about TV shows that we both had in common. Like, we first initially met because somebody else introduced me to her because she likes The Walking Dead. I haven't seen The Walking Dead in like 2 seasons, but we're not even gonna get into that. Anyway, so we ended up developing a friendship, a real genuine friendship, to where we shared some of the most hurtful things that have happened to us, and we just felt comfortable in knowing that whatever we say to one another, it won't leave the other person. Nothing messy is going to happen or whatever. So anyway, she told me about her mother and what happened to her, and I just didn't even know what to say. And like, now she's a lot better, but it's gotten to a point that I know that there are at least 3 or 4 times during the year that I know that she's in her feelings, and she's having these moments where she's having memories of her mother, and it's hard for her. Her mother's birthday, her mother is a twin, and the twin brother is still alive. Coincidentally, her mother and uncle's birthday are both on my grandmother's birthday as well. My grandmother, who I've told y'all about before, she's now deceased. She died the day before Resurrection Sunday in 2017. Y'all, I'm sorry. When I talk about my grandmama, and there's some stuff been going on too, it just does something to me. Anyway, she died the day before Resurrection Sunday, 2017. And it's just, I don't know. I just knew that she and I were meant to be friends, real friends. But I just didn't realize. I was just like, wait a minute. Didn't you tell me her mama's birthday was on this day? It's the same day as my grandmama's, and y'all, it's just a lot. So anyway, I know that on that day and leading up to her mother's birthday, it's very trying and hard for her. Of course, Mother's Day is very hard for her. The actual day that her mother passed away on, and that whole week leading up to it, is stressful for her. The month of October is very, it's a lot for her because that's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and her mother passed away from breast cancer. And I just went and got a new breast cancer shirt today that I've added to my collection of breast cancer shirts. And yeah, just any holidays that are supposed to be about togetherness, family, and all that stuff. But mainly, of course, her mother's birthday, her and Mother's Day are like the hardest for her. She and her mother were like best friends, and for me, I usually am against people trying to be like best friends with their mama, but I think their version of what a best friend was okay, because I don't feel like if her mother had lived and she didn't have that sickness that was going on within, that once my friend became of age, that they would go out and party together and club together and pull guys to get like do crazy stuff like that. I don't think they would have done that, but you know, they did do things together, and they were very, 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 very close. So it's always hard for me to know what to say to people like that, and I just wish I had the words. So you know, I'm sorry. I just really want to know, you know, what are some things that you say to people who've lost very, very loved ones, or, you know, whether it's it could even be like somebody who was your best friend and they're taking it really, really hard. Somebody who was very, very close to them and they're not taking it very well, or they didn't. I just really want some suggestions, because I wish I knew what to say. And it's like, I don't want to just be generic and say sorry for your loss, or, you know, you're okay. And I just feel like it's not enough. Anyway, y'all, please do that favor for me and let me know down in the comments section what you suggest that I should say when people have died, and when people have already suffered the loss, but they have these moments where they go back and they are reliving the moment, or they just don't do that well around certain times because it reminds them so much of that person. Anyway, thank you so much